The night air grows cold, shadows lengthen, playing tricks on your eyes. You hear a sound. Was it just the wind or something else, something ancient? For centuries, tales of vampires have haunted our darkest dreams. Creatures of the night, drinkers of blood, immortal beings walking among us, cloaked in shadow and secrecy. Most people dismiss these stories as folklore, simple myths. But what if they're wrong? What if the legends are rooted in a chilling reality? Every culture across every continent has its own version of the vampire. From the Lamashtu of ancient Mesopotamia to the Zhongshu of China, these aren't isolated tales. They are a global phenomenon. Could such widespread belief simply be a product of overactive imaginations? Or is it a collective memory, a warning passed down through generations? The modern world, with its bright lights and scientific explanations, seems to have banished such creatures to the realm of fantasy. We watch them in movies, read about them in books. They've become entertainment. But perhaps this is their greatest trick. Perhaps they've simply adapted, learned to blend in, to hide in plain sight. In a world obsessed with youth and eternal life, could a creature offering just that truly stay hidden forever? Or would it find new ways to thrive, unnoticed by the very society it preys upon? So we embark on this journey, an expedition into the heart of darkness. We'll peel back the layers of myth, examine historical accounts, explore scientific possibilities, and look at those who claim the vampire identity today. The goal, to uncover the chilling truth behind the myth, to ask the question that has lingered in the shadows for millennia: are vampires real? And if so, are they still out there watching us from the darkness? Our quest for the origins of the vampire myth takes us back to the dawn of civilization itself. Long before Bram Stoker penned Dracula, ancient peoples whispered tales of blood-drinking entities. In ancient Mesopotamia, legends spoke of Lilith, a demonic figure associated with the night and the drinking of blood. This is one of the earliest known examples of a vampire-like archetype. Travel across the ancient world and you'll find similar figures. The Greeks had the Lamia, a child-eating demon, and the Empusa, who seduced young men before devouring them. In Rome, the Strigas were owl-like creatures said to feed on human flesh and blood. These beings weren't just monsters, they were explanations for the unexplainable. India, too, has its share of ancient bloodsuckers. The Vetala, revenants who inhabit corpses, and the Rakshasa, demonic beings sometimes depicted as flesh-eaters. The pervasiveness of these myths across diverse cultures suggests a common human experience, a shared dread of something that returns from the grave, hungry for life. These ancient entities laid the groundwork for the vampire myth: the reanimated dead, the craving for blood, the association with night, and the ability to cause disease or death. They were expressions of deep-seated anxieties about mortality and the unknown forces that governed life and demise. These weren't just scary stories, they were attempts to understand a dangerous world. Fast forward to the 15th century, Eastern Europe. Here we find Vlad III Dracula, also known as Vlad the Impaler, whose name would become linked with the vampire legend. Vlad wasn't a vampire in the supernatural sense, he was a real historical figure, a ruler, a warrior, and exceptionally cruel. His reputation for brutality was legendary. Vlad earned his nickname, the Impaler, for his preferred method of execution. Thousands met their end on sharpened stakes. Some accounts claim he would dine amongst the dying, dipping his bread in their blood. While the blood-dipping part is likely propaganda, it helped cement his terrifying image and link him with blood-drinking creatures of folklore. Bram Stoker's novel Dracula popularized the connection. Stoker borrowed Vlad's name and some historical context, blending it with existing vampire folklore. The result was Count Dracula, an aristocratic, cunning, and terrifyingly powerful vampire. Vlad's horrific deeds provided a potent historical anchor for Stoker's fictional creation. Could some vampire traits actually be misunderstood symptoms of real medical conditions? Consider porphyria, a rare genetic blood disorder causing severe sensitivity to sunlight. Sufferers might only venture out at night with gums receding, giving teeth a fang-like appearance. Rabies, too, has vampire-like symptoms: aggression, insomnia, and hydrophobia. In communities unfamiliar with the disease, a rabid person's behavior could easily have been seen as demonic possession or vampirism. Pellagra, a deficiency of niacin, caused skin sensitivity and mental changes, contributing to vampire folklore. Imagine someone in a pre-scientific era, their skin burning in the sun, their mind becoming unhinged. Fear and superstition filled in the blanks with monstrous explanations. Premature burial was another grim reality. People suffering from conditions like catalepsy could be mistakenly pronounced dead and buried. If they later revived and escaped their grave, they'd appear disheveled, desperate, and confused. To a superstitious villager, this would be undeniable proof of the undead. The 18th century saw a terrifying wave of vampire hysteria sweep across Eastern Europe. Reports of vampire activity surged, leading to widespread panics. Entire villages became convinced that the dead were rising from their graves to prey upon the living. This fear led to gruesome consequences. Often it started with unexplained deaths. In the absence of medical understanding, people sought supernatural explanations. If someone died and others in their family or village fell ill, suspicion would fall on the first deceased. They must be a vampire. Official investigations were launched, often adding fuel to the fire. Graves were exhumed, and if a corpse appeared undecomposed, it was deemed a vampire. The remedies were horrific. Bodies were staked, heads decapitated, corpses burned. These actions were believed to be the only way to stop the vampire's reign of terror. Famous cases like Arnold Powell and Peter Plagojevich in Serbia were documented, spreading the vampire fear across Europe. This era shows the powerful grip of fear and how easily belief in the supernatural can overwhelm reason. The vampire panic eventually subsided with advancements in medical knowledge. But did the vampire truly die, or did it simply retreat further into the shadows? Today, the concept of the vampire persists, not just in fiction, but in real-life subcultures. There are individuals who identify as real vampires, claiming to need to consume blood or psychic energy. These modern, self-identified vampires often form communities, emphasizing consent and safety for donors. For many, it's about a perceived biological or energetic need. Skeptics might attribute this to psychological factors, but for those within the subculture, their experiences are real. It raises questions about identity and belief. Beyond these subcultures, the idea of the vampire hiding in plain sight remains a potent thought. If a creature truly possessed immortality, wouldn't it learn to navigate our modern world undetected? It might be a charismatic CEO, a reclusive artist, or even your quiet neighbor. Someone who seems a little too youthful, perhaps. Someone who thrives in the night. These are speculations, the stuff of modern urban legends. But the core fear, the possibility of a hidden predator, still lingers. As we conclude this journey into the chilling truth behind the vampire myth, we're left with more questions than answers. The vampire is a powerful symbol of our fear of death and fascination with immortality. Whether they exist as supernatural entities or enduring archetypes, one thing is certain. The vampire's shadow is long, and as night falls, it's hard not to wonder, are they watching? Are they waiting?